We'll discuss race and how it plays a factor, and how we didn't even talk about this topic because we were afraid.
A Black executive perspective.
Welcome to BEP Live on a Black Executive Perspective podcast. I'm your host, TonyTidbit.
And I'm Chris P. And what we do here is we cut through the noise and get straight to what matters. Power, politics, culture, leadership, and those moments shaping our lives right now, live with you every Tuesday evening. No filters, no safe take, just honest dialogue and real accountability. So let's get into it tonight.
Absolutely. So tonight, Chris and I are going to take a hard look at the ICE shooting in Minnesota and the question it forces all of us to confront. We're going to break down what we know, what the video shows, and where the official story starts to fall apart. This isn't about one incident, which we're going to discuss. This is about power, accountability, and what happens when federal authorities operate without transparency. And more importantly, we're definitely going to dive into the human impact here, the erosion of trust, and why moments like this demand more than silence.
All right, well, let's get right into it, bro.
Absolutely. So look, guys, unless you've been sitting under a rock, you saw what happened last week in Minnesota. But let's just back up to make sure everybody's on the same page, right? So U.S. Immigration and Customs, ICE, which they're known, right? ICE, baby, fatally shot a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. Her name was Renee Nicole Good, all right? Mother of three. And more importantly, we've all seen it. It's been insane, okay? Now, the thing is, it's amazing when you show a video, which typically, to be fair, when something happens, you're always looking for evidence to prove or disprove if the person did it, right? So typically when you have a video shows what time it is. Either they did it or they didn't, okay? And in this situation, you have a video, but then also you have the government, more importantly, the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and Vice President J.D. Vance, who's defending the agent's actions as self-defense, right? While everybody else is screaming, the whole nine yards, right? So what we wanted to do today is we wanted to dive in and showcase. We're going to share some new video angles so everybody can see. Right? And we want to hear from you. What's your thoughts in terms of what you see? And was this justified? Is this trying to be covered up and wiped away? Right? So we want everyone to dive in and provide your feedback and your thoughts, right? And don't hold back. And this ain't a Kool-Aid session. So at the end of the day, if you disagree or agree, let's hear it. Let's talk about it and let's debate about it. Let's hear all perspectives. And more importantly, let's have an open dialogue about what happened and how we move forward. Sound like a plan?
It does. And just to let you guys know, this is not for the faint of heart. There is some graphic imagery. If you are squeamish or if you're a person that just ain't built for this, look away. But we definitely need to not be afraid to face these things head on. And sometimes you just got to face it and look at it and understand it is what it is. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to try to, turn you off or anything like that. We're here to make sure that you're fully informed and ready to go.
Absolutely, buddy. So let's go.
Out of the car.
For the first time, we are seeing the fatal Minneapolis shooting from the ICE officer's point of view, footage taken on his own cell phone. It's a critical angle of many cameras on the street that captured Renee Good's fatal encounter with ICE agent Jonathan Ross. Using surveillance footage, bystander video, and Ross's own phone, CNN synced multiple perspectives of the shooting and mapped this incident in 3D space. Taken together, they show the fullest picture yet of what happened that day. A home surveillance camera captures the moment Renee Good pulls up in a maroon-colored Honda SUV 4 minutes before the shooting. 20 seconds after she arrives, her passenger and wife, Becca, wearing a white beanie, gets out of Good's car. Good then parks the SUV perpendicular in the road. Here's how Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem described what Good did.
ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day.
Available video doesn't show any possible contact Good may have had with ICE before this confrontation. What this video does show is that for a few minutes, while she is perpendicular to the roadway, several vehicles drive by. Even large SUVs are able to drive around her as she moves back and forth on the street. and that includes this light-colored SUV.
So, the idea of protest, and let's just put two facts out here. Somebody died and it didn't have to happen. Those are absolute facts, okay? No, it should be indisputable. Somebody died, for sure, and it didn't have to happen like that. The reality of it is, it's in psychology, it's called the backfire effect. And what that means is when confronted with the truth, some people have what is called the backfire effect, where they dig into the foolishness, dig into the delusion or whatever they want to portray as their truth, regardless of what you show them. This is an instance where the government, we got to stop calling out people by name and saying, the orange clown and all that. We, United States, are allowing people to be killed. White women, white moms. I mean, this is a turn. I never thought we was lynched and hung and accused and all this for the sanity and sake of preserving white moms for years. And now we letting people just go out and shoot white moms down in minivans? In minivans, bro. Like, so that was the first thing that really caught me off guard, was that I thought hell would be to pay based off of historical references. We've talked about it plenty of times on this show. But no, they letting it happen now. So I just don't know where the line is and where we actually can assign a level of anarchy and third worldism or things that we used to talk about people for having. Now we're encompassing that. What say you? What say the people?
So here's the thing, though, bro. So I hear you, right? And let's back up. So CNN was able to break down the video, which we got more we're going to share you. But up to that point, the narrative was that she was blocking their way to get in and get out. ICE specifically.
Their quota. Yeah, she was
blocking them,
yeah.
and you saw people got around her.
That's not true. It's
the
not
whole
true.
9 yards, right? So that's not true, right? So that's the first thing, right? So this is where, again, though, it's about transparency and saying what time it is. Now, look, at the end of the day, people are going to react and they're going to take up for their boy or whatever the case may be, right? The proper way to deal with it is like, look, he or she is suspended. We're looking at all the facts, and we're not going to make any comments or we're not going to do anything until we look at all the facts. And then we'll come out, and once we get the facts, it will be a transparent investigation. And then once we get the facts, we'll then give a comment on what we believe, blah, blah, blah. But they went right to she did this, she was deranged, and again, they always try to discredit you, right? And the whole 9 yards, right? So that's the first thing, right? Now, let me take it to the next level, okay? Because I want to be objective here, all right? So number one, I know for a fact, this is just me. I know for a fact, if I, in my car, if I park perpendicularly and I'm blocking traffic and ICE is around and I'm saying, yeah, big boy, you got my light. I know I ain't going to be around long. Okay, just to be fair. Right? Just to be, Chris, come on, let's be fair. Yeah, at the end of the day, these dudes got guns, right? Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you got the greatest intentions. You want to let your neighborhood know what's going on, be careful, blah, 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 blah. But I wouldn't antagonize them. Come on. Right. Let's be fair here. If we saw a black dude or a black woman or Hispanic or whatever, and they were doing that, it wouldn't even be on the news. It would have been like, and it would have been his fault. They're the ones and blah, blah. So you just went to the white mom, the soccer mom, right? And that's the issue, okay? Because had a black person did this, matter of fact, a black person or a person of color in the right mind would never do that. Antagonize the police, ICE, FBI. I don't care if it was Sheriff, my man, Gunsmoke. You wouldn't do it. Right. You wouldn't do it and expect to live, all right? Because you're definitely going to get shot. That's automatic. So that's the first thing, right? And so at the end of the day, now, to your point, should a life been taken? Absolutely. It shouldn't have been taken, right? But you got to have some type of responsibility. Let's be fair here. They take some type of, they got to be also accountable for you teasing this dude. And when we go in further, you're going to get a little bit more context. But you teasing them, you playing with them, right? And we know that all officers, let's be fair, they're not all we protect and serve.
Right.
All right. That ain't their mindset. Okay. To be fair. Right. So that's to me. So that's where, in my opinion, that they made a big mistake. Her and her wife made a huge mistake. Is teasing these dudes. Okay, to be fair, right? Now, I'm not saying that she should have got shot. I'm not saying she should have got died. I'm not saying none of that. But I just know for a fact that would be something that I wouldn't do. And buddy, we just wouldn't do it.
So there's a such thing as cruel and unusual, right? So in this instance, that was cruel and unusual. Even if they was fooling with him, that was a cruel and unusual reaction. It wasn't de-escalation at all. But I am going to counter something that you said, Tony. When you said, I understand how you got to stand up for your boy and ride out with your boy. Let me tell you this. The officer's name is Jonathan Ross. If it was Jonathan Washington, that would have been a DEI hire. Yeah, we got to get rid of them. They out there DEI shooting people. You get what I'm saying? So right. So it's not the institution standing up for the institutional individuals. It's just he happened to fit the description of somebody that they're going to ride out with. So let's just keep it honest.
Look, okay, I'm not going to, let me save my response on that and we can take the move, right?
Okay,
because I hear your point, but I got something bigger that I would push back on that, right? But up to that point, you guys saw what happened, right? Pulled the car. There were cars. She was in the middle, okay? Cars were getting around, but then all of a sudden, these ICE dudes pull up. And to be fair, like they said in the video, they don't know if she was playing cat and mouse with them for an hour. We don't know. We just know what's seen here at this time frame. So let's keep moving and let's go to the next part.
It slowly drives around Good's car from the rear and stops. Agent Jonathan Ross is recording video from his cell phone as he crosses in front of Good's car, recording as he sees her up close. She looks calm, and you can see both of her hands as she talks to the officer.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Renee Good's wife, Becca, who had been the passenger in the car, approaches. Cell phone cameras on the street start recording as Ross walks around Good's car with Good's wife following.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Renee Good backs her car up as the agent walks around the front of the vehicle. At the same time, on the other side, two more agents approach. One tries to open the door as Good backs up. Good's vehicle starts moving. From Ross's cell phone video, you see Becca, the woman in the white beanie, trying to get into the car again. You also see Renee Good turning the steering wheel to the right.
Get out of the car.
She then accelerates. Slowing this down again and matching the exact time of these two angles. This angle appears to show the vehicle moving close to the agent. But in this angle, he does not appear to be in the path of the vehicle when he fired.
Shame! Oh my God! What the
Seconds later, Becca Good runs to her wife, followed by the agent who fired his weapon. He briefly looks into the driver's side of the car and then walks away.
Shame!
Now, what we cannot see in Ross's cell phone video is if the SUV made contact with the agent because the camera angle jerks up to the sky. But DHS still says it supports the agency's initial position, releasing this statement saying, quote, the footage corroborates what DHS has stated all along, that this individual was impeding law enforcement and weaponized her vehicle in an attempt to kill or cause bodily harm to federal law enforcement. The officer was in fear of his own life, the lives of his fellow officers, and acted in self-defense. The American people can watch this video with their own eyes and ears and judge for themselves. The shooting itself, Aaron, is also not visible. You do, though, hear 3 gunshots. Aaron?
You can't prove intent. Let's just keep it a buck. The reason why you can't see what happened in the video was because as he was creating content, you know what I'm saying? So I feel bad about coming against another content creator, but as he was creating content, we're not talking about a body cam. We're not talking about a body cam, Tony. Why the hell is a police person, a law enforcement agent, create on his cell phone, recording on his cell phone? Why is he recording content on his cell phone during this time? 2, and more importantly, as you stated, and kind of we staring up into this, she wasn't impeding his path because he went around her, literally ran around her, then stopped and wanted to smoke. And it seems as if you talk about intent, it seems as if his mind was made up regardless of what was going to happen, and he was going to show them they was messing with the wrong one that day. And unfortunately, he had a badge and a gun and the means and the motive to make sure that she didn't come out of that. And that was a lesson learned. As morbid and horrible as it was, he was intent on making sure that whatever she did to offend him, he was going to use unreasonable force to get his just desserts.
Buddy, there's no question. But before I respond, let's play the next clip, because I want the prominent criminal defense attorney to give his perspective on this, and then I'll definitely dive in.
Joey, does that change anything? Obviously, this new video is a new perspective, but then just as Kyung has reconstructed frame by frame those crucial instances from all the perspectives we now have.
I think it's problematic for the officers with respect to justifying the force, and I'll explain why. The first thing is, let's talk about the policy. I do have the Department of Justice policy, which talks about the preservation of life, but it also talks about the obligation to get out of the path of the vehicle, right? Not to stand and shoot. It talks about getting out of the path of the vehicle, and it also talks about de-escalation. Why is that significant? I don't see much de-escalation there. That's important. I hear words to the effect of effing, B-I-T-C-H. That goes to me to state of mind. So if you're not
of the officer,
he's saying that. Right. I mean, so it's one thing to defend yourself. It's another thing to be angry and use animus with regard to employing force. The other thing that's troubling to me is that if you're not standing in front of the vehicle, but if it seems to be, I'm not saying it, it's what the video shows, you're off to the side of the vehicle, then how is it representing an imminent threat to death or physical injury? The other issue is you have to justify every projectile. If you're shooting a projectile and the car's not coming at you, what's the basis? And if you're shooting into the window when the vehicle's going away from you, that's further problematic as well. So it goes against the notion of immediate fear of death or serious injury. It goes against the notion of the proportionality of the force. And finally, Aaron, it goes against the issue of it being reasonable. So as I see this, it's a problem to me for the officer, even though the White House says there's nothing to see here. There is plenty to see from my perspective.
So much is.
So I don't think it's a problem for the officer, because I'm old enough to remember when George Zimmerman followed a young boy home while on the phone with 911 and them telling him to stand down. There's nothing to see here. Don't follow, don't do this. And he gunned that brother down, and he's at the crib right now. He went to work the next day, all of that. So the concept of what's reasonable, legal, and lawful, you can miss me with that, because it's been too many instances where the rules don't necessarily apply as written to some of these folks, including the government is backing the fact that this is going to circumvent those rules, because it's just, they already said it was justified. How are they going to go against their own statement?
Here's the thing, though, bro. So, and again, let's don't go to the results before we're still dealing in the process. Okay. So the George Zimmerman thing is a done thing. So what my man is saying, we're just talking about the process right now. How it may end is another holy totally thing, right?
Okay.
But now, what my man is saying is like, look, number one, okay, just to be fair here, right, is that he wasn't he was supposed to de-escalate. That didn't happen. Then he called her a bitch. So you can tell it became personal.
Right.
Okay, so that you got to throw the human element into it, right?
Right.
Number three is they're trained. Even the police officers are trained to get out of the way of a moving vehicle, not to start blasting. Okay? So he didn't do that. Not only that, as you saw in the video, her wheel, because that was the first thing, I was like, well, if she was trying to run him down, her tires would have been aimed directly at him.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
So at the end of the day, you saw her turn her wheel, so she was going to go around him anyway. And to be fair, if you back up and we play it again, nobody was in front of her until my man came and said, get out the car. And then the dude jumped in front of her car, or at least to the side of it. So she was turning her wheel to get away from him anyway. And look, let's be fair. She hit the gas. So when it is going to jump, the car is going to jump. Okay. But then the other thing, here's the bigger thing. He fired 3 shots.
That's right.
Right? So he fired one, and then he fired the other 2 as the car was going away from him.
Correct.
So that's not, I'm in fear of my life and my
Absolutely.
fellow officers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so all those things you can break down to show that that really didn't happen. Now, did he
Yes.
get bumped by the car? He probably did. All right, to be fair. Okay.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't pass the smell test in terms of the lethal force that
Right.
he utilized. Right?
Right.
Now, to your point, will he get off and this and that? Probably, right? I'm not
Probably,
saying
yep.
all that, but I'm
Absolutely.
just saying
Absolutely.
in terms of the facts and
Okay.
how they're trying to spin it.
Okay. He couldn't have thought that the difference between him living and dying in that instance, in that moment when he got bumped by the car, was him shooting her. Like, he couldn't have thought, man, if I don't shoot her and kill her, the side of this door could kill me. The fact is, it could have turned out a whole different way with him shooting her if the angles and all of that was the way it was, right? Like, if she was really, why would somebody coming towards you, you shoot and kill them, you think that's going to make you safer? It doesn't make sense,
So,
Tony.
No, it doesn't.
make sense.
But Chris, so again, it
Yes.
doesn't make sense. However, so bro, think about it for a second, okay? And sometimes we, the thing that we don't know is that was she playing cat and mouse with them for a while?
Okay.
Okay, we don't know that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But for him to
Yep.
call her a bitch or whatever
Yep.
he said, right?
Yep.
Evidently, in his something was escalating. So this dude started becoming emotionally charged.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
we know. Come on, hold on. Sonia Massey.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
they
Yep.
were
Yep.
sitting joking. Okay,
Yep.
chatting, joking before she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus."
Yep. Yep.
Right, and then he immediately switch flipped,
Yep.
and he
Yep.
"I'll shoot you in the face."
Yep.
Right, and so this dude, all I'm trying to say,
That's
man,
different. That's different because that's
but what-
instantaneous versus
no,
antagonistic.
No. What I'm
Okay.
saying, but it is similar because at the end of the day, this dude flipped a switch flipped. Okay, for him to start, you just said it. See what you were saying is from
Right.
a logic standpoint would make sense. Well,
Right.
wait a minute, man. If she was trying to run you down and this and that and the whole 9 yards, which makes total sense. What I'm saying is that he became emotionally charged and was looking to get her. Look, man, come on. You know how
I
many
think when
times
he pulled up, though, but I think
Huh?
he pulled up like that. I think he pulled up. If she had been antagonizing him all day protesting, think about this. There's no comfortable protest. So her antagonizing him was with intention. She was trying to protest, which is
Exactly.
antagonistic.
She was trying to get a
It's level of
reaction. She was
discomfort.
trying to get a
Yes.
reaction, right?
Thank you. Yes, and she just got the worst possible reaction.
But me and
that
you
she
said that's what
couldn't
I'm
have called
saying.
for.
We're saying the same
Okay.
thing. She was trying, so this dude was amped up, and immediately
Yep.
he ain't thinking
Yep.
she ain't trying to. He think I'm going to get her. I'm going to show her.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's my point. Okay, I'm going to show her because he didn't have to fire 3 times.
Correct.
Okay,
Or once.
He
Or
had to fire once, but my point is,
Yeah.
he loses even his argument to say
Yes.
that I thought my life was in danger when you fire. That's what my man was just saying. When you fire the two other shots, like he said,
Yep.
every projectile you have to have an answer for why
Absolutely.
I shot this bullet. Okay,
And,
that's
and
just
I
my
was
mind.
afraid it's going to be the answer. There's no such thing as
the answer is going to be I was afraid, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be sufficient for the other 2 bullets. That's my point. When somebody's look, bro, if somebody you see it all the time, right? I was afraid for my life, and then when they do the autopsy, right, the dude was shot in the back.
Yeah.
You see my point? Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How could you be afraid for your life when you shot him in the back?
Yeah, but the government already testified on his behalf that he was afraid for himself, the safety of the public, and his fellow officers. Another thing, Tony, let's just be real. There's no such thing as a decorated ICE officer. There's no such thing as a highly decorated ICE officer. These is people that took the bonus. They took the bonus and come on, bro. They masked up like the Gestapo, bro. Like Heinrich Himmler, they masked up like the Gestapo, going in and snatching people out their homes and snatching people out their neighborhoods. They not even from there. You know what I'm saying? This is German. This is a very, very
buddy.
third
No.
type situation
I
going on.
agree. Look, but here's the thing, bro. I agree with you on that, right? I think what is it, 2,000 ICE officers in Minneapolis? Okay, so let's be fair, 2,000. Okay, so that's I don't know. Somebody look it up. What's the Minneapolis,
Population?
not population. They're the police department.
Police force.
Because New York is, I think there's 30,000 cops in New York City, right? Which for a city of 8 million people, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So my point is, I will look up the number of what's the number of police in Minneapolis. I guarantee you, I could be wrong, but I guarantee you that the number of ICE officers in Minneapolis is over the number of police officers. You see my point?
Absolutely.
So when you have so many people, so you're right. It doesn't matter about he's a decorated and this and that. They're there to kick ass. That's what they're there for. All right, they're there to protect and serve. They're there. That's why they got masks on. That's why they flat out. So they're coming and they're armed, by the federal government, so they can do what they want to do. They ain't gotta be nice. You see my point? So that's the issue. The issue that's one of the issues, right? And that's why most cities don't want them there, because what happens is because your community will push back. Right? Let's be fair, man. Okay, let's back up. Why are we here? Okay, because we're talking about the shooting, but let's back all the way up. Why are we here? We're here because, Trump said, hey, we got to get rid of the criminals. We got to lock down immigration. They're coming too many. And then to be fair, okay, that's fair. We got too many people. All right, that's fair, right? And how did he frame it? It was the criminals. We want to get these criminals, these gangbangers. We want to get this, that out of the street. And that's what people voted for, to be fair. Then, once he came in, they changed it. Okay? So now it ain't about, now if you hear illegal, you're a criminal. Okay? So they didn't say nothing about going to schools. They didn't say nothing about going to Home Depot. They didn't say nothing about, going to the bakery where the person that's been living here for 19 years, all right, that's been working in the community that everybody know hasn't done anything, this and that, but is here illegally. They wasn't talking about those people, right? But that's who they're. So my point is, there wasn't enough of the criminals, okay, to make the quota work. So now we're going to expand it, and we're now going to go after anybody, right? And so when you do that, the community, and then the tactics is Gestapo tactics, where we can just go in, grab somebody at school, a 15-year-old, or whatever the case may be, and then so when you do that, the people in the community are going to be charged, because I'm like, what? This is supposed to be democracy. This is see this on TV. You see this is not supposed to happen here, and then you got 2,000 people up. And then they can do whatever they want to do. That's why we hear. That's what. And then so eventually, this was just a matter of time before this happened.
But you kept saying they had this plan with immigration. They had this plan for the criminals. When does they and their actions become us and we? Because we are allowing it as America. We are letting this happen. We letting these motherfuckers play Call of Duty in our streets, right? So we have to figure out what is going to be our hill that we die on. What is going to be our landmark dynamic that we say, okay, look, we can't have it. We can't have renegades masked up, like you said, playing Call of Duty out in these streets, killing unarmed white moms. Unarmed white moms, Tony.
Here's the thing, though, bro. People are pushing. So, bro, why you think she was in the street? They're protesting, saying we don't want you here. Okay? So it's not like people are sitting back on their thumbs and not doing nothing. They're out doing what they can do. Okay? Gotcha. And then after she got killed, how many protests have you seen go across the country? Right? And people been protesting for the longest, to be fair. Right. So it's not like they're sitting back. Now look, we always say, right? If it doesn't affect you, you like, what are they talking about? All right. She shouldn't have did that. You go immediately. But if you do the same thing in a small rural town in Montana or wherever, you're gonna get the people and be like, what the hell is going on here? So now, Sal, thank you, buddy. Sal looked it up. There's 600 police officers in Minneapolis. You sure
Right.
these numbers are right, Sal? Is it 600? Okay, we gotta look it up. But Sal said 600. They got 2,000 ICE officers. So why? Why? So that shows you we're coming in with a level of force. We gonna bum rush this spot.
Bum rush the spot, right?
Okay,
It's
and
not
we're
our
gonna
community.
take what
It's not
we
our
want to
community.
take, and you ain't
Yep.
got no. You can't ask questions. You
Yep.
just do it, and then they wrap
Military
your
state.
ass up, and nobody knows where you at.
Yep.
So who wants to live like that? That's why people are fighting back. Okay?
Yep.
Because nobody would want to live like that. Here's the thing, bro. That can, and I should have, but we'll do it on another episode. How many people that's been detained, that's U.S. citizens, that was pulled up and accosted, all right, and was like, I'm a citizen. They're supposed to be told that, and then they, okay, sorry. All right,
my
so
bad.
that
My
can
bad.
happen. My
Yeah, my
bad.
bad.
That can happen to
Right.
anybody.
Yep.
So nobody wants that. Okay,
Right.
and so
Right.
so my point is, this was supposed to be this, right? But now it's this, and because it's this. This is what you're getting. And it won't be the only. So thanks. Sal said, yep, 600 sworn police officers. And they got 2,000 ICE. Why 2,000?
The overwhelming show of force.
Exactly.
It's bully tactics. Yeah.
So when you have bully tactics, what happened? People are going to some people are going to be scared, right? But the other people are like, what the hell are you doing in our city? Why you don't have to do, that's
You
the
don't gotta do
issue.
this. Yep. Ain't no punks here. But let me ask you this, Sal, specifically to you. Why aren't the right people pushing back, meaning policymakers and people who have a voice? Why are they not? It shouldn't be up to the citizens because we vote people in for this shit.
Buddy.
We vote people in to push back on our behalf.
But Chris, they are so here, bro. And you a real smart dude, right? You know these questions, you know these answers. So that's what I'm looking at you because it's the federal buddy. So you have a state level, and they have state power. Okay, that's it. Then you have federal government, you have federal power. So the federal power usurps the state power. So if the president says, we sending these troops here, and from a legal standpoint, you can't block it, then they're there. There's nothing you can do.
Okay.
Because you can scream, holler, the whole 9 yards. He knows that. Okay, so once it's federalized, then the state, it don't matter what the governors say. It don't matter what the mayors say. It don't matter what the city council say. Those things don't matter.
Right.
So they're handcuffed and they can scream, they can yell, now what they can do is try to sue, which, out of this thing is what they're doing now, right? Because let's be fair here. One of the things that came out of this is that there's supposed to be a transparent investigation. But the federal government is not letting the state of Minnesota be involved in the investigation. Okay? So right there is red flags. Like, wait a minute. So you can come up and just say this, it don't matter. That's why these videos and all this stuff is important. Right? Because at the end of the day, then you can't really have an objective investigation if you're going to be the only one investigating. Okay? And so, and it's in their state. So they should have the ability to be a part of the investigation, but they're being blocked from that. So what is their legal remedy? They're suing. Or at least they're trying to sue the state.
I was going to say,
to be able to see if they can get, at least a seat at the table. Right?
Yeah.
And so, so Sal's here is like, and he curses after he kills her. That's my point, right? This dude is fired up. He curses after he kills her. I'm sorry, human life take. In my opinion, this is Trump's Proud Boy army. I was still mad about it, fake ass cops. Okay. And then what does he say here? 10,000 cops in the state of Minnesota. And then what do you say here, Sal?
It's a 20%
agents now are pepper spraying in Minneapolis, right?
Dang.
And so that's the thing.
Come on,
so
man.
when you have unlimited power, so let's come on, man. Let's be fair here. We sit back and I it's easy. I remember when I was in the Army, man, and you would have people. Let me just say guys that come from all over the country, And at the end of the day, they would be sheepish. They don't have a lot of confidence. They wasn't physically imposing. So if you saw them, you wouldn't be scared. Okay. But when you put some stripes on their shoulders, all of a sudden they act like they the baddest person on the planet. And then they feel emboldened and they feel they can talk shit to you and they can feel like they can. And you're like, if you didn't have those stripes on, I would stomp. You couldn't do shit. This is why you'll stay in the military, because you know if you go home, you ain't nobody. Right? So when you give somebody that type of authority, a human being, that feel they can walk, and not, is all of them that way? Probably not, right? But you know, in every situation, there's good cops, there's bad cops, right? There's good, and then so now you give if you give a bully, would you give a bully a sheriff badge?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Why not? Why?
Yeah, because they're going to abuse the hell out of that.
Exactly. So my point is, the bully now is emboldened because he's already been a bully, so he can do what he want to do. And that's what you have with some of these ICE officers.
Throughout the history of the United States, we've had a litany of people who have died protesting for what they believed in. And there's honor in that, right? I honor the people who, from the civil rights era, from long ago, have put their life on the line, put their freedom on the line, because they were protesting something that they believed in. It appears as if people are killing, but it's not for something they believe in. This dude killed, he can't say he believed in something when he killed her. She died for something she believed in, which was protest, the freedom to protest. He shouldn't have had the freedom to kill her. And that's the distinction between them being there in that moment. In that similar moment, even when she was standing there unarmed, she was sitting in the vehicle unarmed, she seemed jovial. She seemed like, hey, she thought she was going home that day. You got around me. I was impairing your ability to do your thing. You pulled around me. Hey, this is what, I'm not going to make it easy on you, is what her mentality should have been, might have been. Wasn't there, don't know. But it seemed that from the footage, she just wasn't going to make it easy on him. But she didn't come for smoke. She didn't come to be killed. It was stunning that is how that turned. And for them to, okay, so all of that is done right there, right? Like you said. But for them to then try to qualify it and absolve it, that's the real danger, because that's setting the precedence for us to be afraid to protest. You're not going to let your daughters protest now. What do you do? What do I do as a United States citizen, Tony, when I see something I don't believe in? Because now I have to second guess if I should take my children, or if I should be involved in something, and ask myself, am I willing to die over this?
Well, here's the thing, though, bro. I don't think she thought she was putting herself in her life in harm's way. Okay, to be fair, right? I don't think she did, right? And if you watch the video again, who told her to drive?
Oh, I didn't hear.
Her wife. Her wife said, "Go, baby, go."
Okay.
So she wasn't trying to run him over.
Right.
But the wife was trying to get in the car, and then they showed up and it was like, tried to get in the car. And the wife is the one that said, "Drive, baby, drive." And then that's why she took off. So she wasn't looking to run them over. Okay. She was looking to get out of there. Right. That's where she's looking. Right. But unfortunately, so that's that. Number two, man, come on, man. Let's be fair here. I mean, Chris, where you work at? Are you working there for life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice?
No.
Okay. So the majority people ain't. Right. All right. So, I mean, bro, now, is there certain people that join the Army or the Marines or Navy because they're patriotic and they want to defend? Yeah, exactly. But not a lot of people. A lot of people, I want to go to school. I want to travel. I want this. So to say, there's a ton of people who do stuff that ain't patriotic or believe in 100%. It's a job.
Right.
Okay, just to be fair, right? So at the end of the day, I'm not shocked that they're not paid. Look, we can't paint broad brushes. Are there certain people that's ICE officers that believe in, we want to make sure we have only legal people here? Okay, yes, possible, yeah, absolutely. But some of them have just got a job. Okay, that's all it is to them. And so at the end of the day, they don't care about nobody else. They're not looking to, hey, let me do my job. Chris, one thing I know about you, and again, we're talking two different things, but let's just go by the mindset, right? You take your job 100% seriously, right? what do? You look at procedures. You look at how the things are supposed to be done the right way. There shouldn't be any shortcuts. Has to be done. This has to be done. Did you guys think about this? Blah, 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 blah. Let's be fair here. How many people that's been in your spot or you've seen that they ain't following no rules.
Right.
All right. They're just doing, and you're like, how did you guys sign this contract? How did you come up with this? How did you come up? They have the same role you got. But they don't follow regulations. They just got a job. And if nobody checks them, if nobody checks their work, they'll keep doing whatever they need to do.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're at a checking point though, because here's the situation. By nature, a protest is supposed to cause a level of discomfort, right? By nature, when you're protesting against something, there's a level of discomfort. With that level of discomfort comes a level of irritation or aggravation to the people that are being protested against. You following me so far, right? What you're telling me is, if I was to go irritate or aggravate somebody, they can kill me over it and get off, because that's where we are here, Tony. She did something that aggravated him. He killed her for it, and by all intents and purposes, based on the things we've read that you've shown today, they're saying, hey, she shouldn't have been doing that.
So here's the thing, bro. Let me say it this way. So number one, let me. So I agree with you. That should never happen. Where I'm perplexed is that you've seen this happen in the Black community since we've been here.
Yes, I agree.
Hold on.
Yes. Okay.
Buddy, you kidding me here? You know how many times where we were just walking home, and you get snatched up, hung, or they said you looked at the white girl and this and that, and then next thing you know, they having a barbecue with you at the honor. You know how many Black sons never come home when they were just doing the right thing? So, buddy, what are you kidding me here, right?
Because we're at
what I'm saying is, this ain't the first time. I'm not absolving it, but what I'm saying is, we've seen these things happen before. Well, I just told you, Sonia Massey.
I disagree.
What did she do to get shot?
She was Black, though, Tony. Listen to this. We're at a seminal moment in the history of this country where pigs are flying and hell is freezing over because a white mom had this happen to her. Yes, it's happened to us plenty of times. We should be conditioned to it by now. When is the last time you heard of an unarmed white mother being gunned down by the police?
So here's the thing, though, bro. So
you gonna answer?
No.
I need you to say never.
But so I probably never. But here's the thing, though.
Thank you. Okay.
But why is it so? Because she was white. Now all of a sudden,
and mom, unarmed.
wait a minute, hold on a second, man. But and again, maybe it's the way you're framing it, right? Because that's where I don't understand. Because you keep saying, but now we had a tipping point because we had a white mom that done. So I'm just like, well, wait a minute.
There's no fear factor because they always feared us and protected them. Now the people that you protected are now victims.
But what I'm saying, so look, I don't know how to. So let's back up.
Okay, cool.
So again, let me go by history. So you know who Goodwin, Schwerner, and Cheney was?
In Mississippi, yes.
What about them in Mississippi?
They got killed for trying to assist in the movement.
In terms of registering people, Black people to vote in Mississippi, right? Now, who was Goodwin and Schwerner?
Yeah, white folks.
They were two white boys, and Cheney was the Black boy, right? Now, how many Black kids or boys or men was shot and murdered? Okay, trying to do the right thing or get their people or try to lift their. We go to Mega Evers. We can go to a bunch of people, right? That was shot in the back. Whatever the case may be. How many times that happened? A million times,
plenty
right?
Plenty of media.
Okay, but when Schwerner and Goodwin got shot, what happened?
The tipping point is what I'm talking about.
But what was the tipping point? What happened?
that they was white, and then they made sure that they knew that, hey,
But
they
who
killing
made
white
sure?
folks.
But what I'm saying, what type of what?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened?
The black folks.
No.
We made sure
The
media.
FBI got involved.
Yeah.
Before
got
that,
involved,
they never got involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I said, it happened a million times to black people. Okay?
Right.
There was no FBI investigating, but as soon as Goodwin and Swerner got murdered, then the FBI came in and got involved.
Right.
Okay? So what I'm saying, man, that ain't nothing new.
So do you agree that when the FBI came and got involved, that was a tipping point or a seminal moment in the civil rights movement?
I don't know if it was a tipping point or similar moment. I just know that, no, because I just know they started investigating. Then nothing changed, right? I mean, nothing changed. You know, and look, I don't want to get too far off because I want to stay on this, but nothing changed. It was just that they got involved and they investigated. And actually, to be fair, the people that they found who did it, how much time did they get?
Oh, they're nothing.
They got 3 years. All right, 3 years. So what changed? Nothing. So all I'm saying is, bro, I'm not shocked. Okay. And if it takes, so here's the thing. I hear your point though, that, hey, now shocked. They're doing it with white people. So now it's insane. I just like, they shouldn't be doing it at all. Okay. She black, white, it should. So let me ask you this. If she was black, would that make that any different?
I think based on conditioning and the way this country is run, I could have understood it more because they would have felt threatened because Chris, have been demonized.
You could understand it more. See, this is where this is more you than anything else. You seem more like, man, we got to do something because a white mom got shot.
All right, ask the people if she was black. On this chat, people, if she was black, could you have seen it differently if she happened to have been black, as opposed to her being a white soccer mom? So is that not stunning to you people on this chat?
So what I'm saying is, they may say, no, it wouldn't. I would think it was Chris, we started the thing off when I said there's no way that I would be in my car teasing ICE agents. We said that when we got on the call, right? That we would get shot. We know that, right? We know that. What I'm shocked at is that you seem like more amped up, like, oh, now white soccer moms are getting shot. The world is over. And then that's why I'm just like,
you said specifically there's no way we would do it. Why wouldn't we do it, Tony?
Because I told you we would get shot. We would never make it home.
Why would we get shot? Why would we get shot, Tony?
What do you mean, why would we get shot? Because, buddy, at the end of the day, they don't value our lives as the same as
But if it was a white dude, could he do it?
What do you mean, could he do it?
Could he do the same thing you said there's no way you would do because you know they would shoot you?
Right.
A white dude would be more empowered to do it because he knows his rights and all these reserved
opportunities. He would live by his privilege, right? And so that's what happened to her. She thought that was never. But what I'm saying, but you seem I'm trying to understand, because what you're saying is that you're shocked that, oh shit, they're not killing white people too. So the world is over, right?
Yes, Tony, this is an attack on privilege. But you said it yourself. You made your own argument.
Look, bro, I'm not shocked. So here's the thing. I just think, and maybe I see it differently, right? I just think when you put 2,000 people that's grabbing people up, okay, and saying that at the end of the day that they have no rights and you can do whatever you want to do. And yeah, there are people of color who protesting, but not like white people. Because, well, let's be fair here. The Hispanic people in these communities, are they out holding picket signs? Somehow, leave us alone? What are they doing? Okay. So there you go. All right. Yeah. So at the end of the day, because they know if I'm out there saying, we had old girl Erica on the show and she told her own son, hey, don't go nowhere, because they'll pick you out. Right. So at the end of the day, if you know that, you ain't going to be out there doing that. Okay. So now, all that being said, when you push people in a powder keg, okay, it's inevitable somebody's going to get killed. Okay, so I'm not shocked that somebody got killed. I'm sad she shouldn't have got killed.
Absolutely.
But I'm not shocked that she was a white, that she got, because, buddy, when you put hoodlums, and I don't want to call them all hoodlums, but when you put people who think they got absolute power, they can do whatever they want to do, unfortunately, you're going to have incidents like this, right? So if she would have been black or Hispanic or Asian, it would be, look, it still would be horrible.
Right.
However, it wouldn't, and would people cover it? Yeah, they would cover it.
Probably.
All right. But it wouldn't be, what I'm saying is, it wouldn't, I don't know, bro. But here's the thing.
I told you, you're agreeing with me without saying you agree with me.
But I'm not, so you're like, look, here's the thing. You're at the point where you like, man, they killing white people now. We gotta get out of here.
Man, when white soccer moms get gunned down, unarmed, white soccer moms start getting gunned down, what's left? What's left, Tony? What else is there?
So here's the thing, though, bro. I maybe I'm naive, but I don't like putting a pecking order in terms of they shot the black dude, so it don't mean nothing. Or they shot the Mexican, and you can sit back and chill. But if it's a white person, then we all got to be like, oh shit, the world, we got to get out of here, right?
Man, who's safe?
I just think that, look, and like I said, maybe I'm naive. I just, look, I hear your point. Right. So let's move on. Because I'm just like, I ain't shocked. Right. Okay. I'm just, but hold on to your point.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? To your point, let's see what my man on CNN says. Okay. Because he said something to that point as well. Right.
What do you see there?
Well, there's nothing that a city police officer would do in that situation that approximates what the ICE agent did.
Meaning in terms of the level of force.
They've all been trained to get out of the way of a car.
Yeah, not only the level of force, but all of the other tactics. I mean, there is one reason that the president, the vice president, and the secretary are so hyperbolic over this, because they want to get out from and away from this as fast as possible. This is their worst case scenario of a white woman, a mother, being shot by ICE agents, a U.S. citizen. And so that's their whole mission, is to get away from it. And they say, well, the American people can look at this video and make their own decisions. Unfortunately for the administration, the American people have already looked at this video and they have made a determination about this. This is their Kent State moment.
Kent State moment. I agree with dude, and I'm going to vote for him if he run for something. Because yes, he's right.
So here's the thing, though. But does everybody know what Kent State moment means? You know what happened to Kent State, right?
Give it to him.
So Kent State there were National Guards that killed 4 or 5 college students who was protesting against the Vietnam War. All right. And when that happened, it was on TV, like Walter Cronkite, everybody talking about it. And it just shows the vitriol in terms of how people felt about the war, but also that innocent people who were just here protesting, college students were killed, right, by the National Guard. And so that speaks a little bit to what I was talking about. When you put people with with no checks and balances regarding power in a situation where Americans feel they have the right to push back and protest, okay, you're going to get people who get killed, okay? And that's what happened. So that's what I'm trying, buddy. That's my point here. I get it that she was white and this and that, but at the end of the day, you can do that anywhere. Eventually, it's going to explode, okay? Because you can't control it. And you got these dudes who's human beings, who's walking around feeling like they can do anything they want to do. Look, let's even go back to the video, man. When the dude when he shot her, did he go and look in the video? When he looked in the car, then he was like, oh, shit, what did I do? And this and that. He just walked away like, call 911. Right? There was no, remorse. There was no feeling of humanity. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So you see.
He did everything except blow on the gun. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. It was horrible. That cavalier attitude, and it's not but see, this is what I think. You're separating the messenger from the message.
Oh,
and
shit.
what I think the greatest fear is that the message is the greatest danger to us, not the messenger. So the fact that he's being backed and promoted, and not promoted in a hierarchical perspective, but the fact that they're absolving him and making excuses for it and making her the villain in this story is the greatest danger, because this is an attack against protest. This is an attack against making people uncomfortable who are armed and dangerous. That's the biggest problem that we have coming out of this, as far as I'm concerned.
So look, let's look at what Sal put here, right? He said a black man was killed recently by ICE. It's not getting all the attention like Renee Good.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And
Correct.
what he say here? ICE is cold. They will shoot anyone in their way, regardless of color. This is insane. Buddy, it's just
Unintended.
when these people,
Unintended.
and then so the midterms, folks, remember, even some Republicans are walking up and seeing the madness by Trump. So here's the thing, though, bro.
Yeah.
And let's go to that point before we close. You know, at the end of the day, this. So I'll go to you. I'll go to your point here. Is that people across the aisle are saying that this is horrible, right? And will it be the Kent State moment? I don't know. It depends on what happens after it, right? And so, you know, Minnesota and other states are filing lawsuits to stop what they describe as politically motivated surge of ICE agents using aggressive tactics. Civil rights experts and community leaders argue this incident is symptomatic of federal overreach and escalating force in immigration enforcement contexts. The grieving family of Renee Good emphasizes the human toll of these policy choices and call for empathy and accountability above all politics, right? So here's the thing. And I want to ask you this question. Do you think this is, and you gave me a little bit of this answer, but let me see. Do you think this incident is a turning point? Is this Kent State in terms of how Americans view immigration enforcement?
Yes. And I think the reason why, and I know we're coming up on it, but I think the reason why is because we've convinced ourselves, based on the news, based off the actions and the reactions, that no illegal people live in red states, that no red states require ICE intervention or ICE interaction, that everybody there is on the up and up and no criminals dare come in there, because all of this infraction happens to be in blue states. All of this infringement on liberties and justice for all happens to be in blue states, and anybody can get it, and it's getting more and more dangerous because it goes unchecked. It's just like a cold that's not treated. It becomes the flu, it becomes pneumonia, and it becomes death. We can get ahead of this if we take a second to say, wait a second, this has gone too far. If this is not the have gone too far moment, I dread to think what is. And that's why, you know, the reaction is similar to how the media is responding, and the people across the other side of the aisle is responding is, damn, I don't, unarmed, forget about the white part, an unarmed woman, an unarmed female got gunned down multiple times, and he just, like I said, and walked off on some Call of Duty. This is not what we signed up for. And at some point in time, we have to stop saying they and him and realize this is America doing this to Americans.
Buddy, I love it. I love it. And remember, next week, we're going to dive into the divide and conquer strategy.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
because
sir. Yes,
you
sir.
said something that's totally good. This wouldn't be a situation if you didn't have that strategy where you're saying blue states, red states, or this and that. Because when you do that, you don't see people as humans. You see them as groups, okay? And so to your point, it's in the blue state, so that's what they deserve, all right? And that's the fallout in terms of that type of division versus to seeing Renee Good as a mother who, regardless of, she didn't do nothing to get shot and killed, bro. That's just, so here's the thing. She did nothing to get shot. You want to arrest her? Okay. You want to give her a ticket?
Yep.
Okay. Right? But to shoot her in the face 3 times? Nothing. That's the point, Chris. There was nothing in the video that said she supposed to got shot. Right? And so let's all remember this. Don't let the official spin be the last word. Right? The Minneapolis shooting isn't just another news event. It's a flashpoint of how America negotiates power, justice, civil rights, and accountability in the 21st century. So, Chris, hey, if this is the Kent State thing, or if this is Waterloo, or if this is whatever, and it affects change, then, we wish Renee Good would still be here so her kids and her wife could spend time with her. But, hopefully if this happens, then, her life will, I don't care. I don't think they care about that. To be fair, they want their mother and their wife to be home. But at the end of the day, we hope that there's a lot of positivity in terms of the tactics that comes out of this.
Absolutely. And just to close this out, we can't lose sight, people, of the fact that some protesters get pardoned and others get killed. Because that's where we are now.
Exactly. And you're right, Sal. We have to keep the faith and feel that it's going to get better at some point. All right. You had the final word, my brother.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank y'all for coming in live, obviously contributing and putting the notes in and keeping us on the right course and informing us about these numbers, because that's all important. It's an interactive dynamic, right? This is what we're here for, what we come for, and what we enjoy is engaging with you every week. But what also happens every week is Need to Know with Nsinga. You don't want to miss this week's episode of Need to Know with Dr. Nsinga Burton on a Black Executive Perspective podcast. Dr. Burton dives into things like this, for sure, guaranteed. It's going to be hot and heavy at some point when she get a hold of things like this. But she talks about topical things that shape our community and our world. And she has a very, very educated and unique perspective on these things that you definitely want to hear, and you don't want to miss it.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our new show, a Mixed Executive Perspective podcast, hosted by Grace Food Corey. This new show explores biracial identity, executive leadership, fear, purpose, and belonging, giving voice to perspectives that's been too often left unheard. So definitely check out our new show, A Mixed Executive Perspective, hosted by Grace Food Corey, here on the Black Executive Perspective podcast.
Absolutely. Come out and support the sister. She is powerful. It's going to be great. We want you to show up and check out Pull Up, Speak Up. You don't want to miss the episode of Pull Up, Speak Up that we have a round table of individuals like Tony and I, but they have varied backgrounds, very perspective, and they come together and talk about a topic, and it's heated, it's passionate, it's informative, but you absolutely get the gist of how different people see things from different perspectives. And it isn't just talk, it's a call to action, so you want to tune in and join that revolution. And then, of course, we would be remiss if we didn't end by reminding you of our call to action, which is to incorporate less, LESS. Our goal is obviously to eliminate all forms of discrimination. And to achieve this, we ask everyone to embrace less. The L is for learn. We want you to educate yourself on social, legal, political, and cultural nuances.
Absolutely. And after you learn, you have the letter E, which stands for empathy. Now, since you've learned, you should be more empathetic, because now you can put yourself in their shoes.
And then the first S stands for share. It's what you do here each week with us live on Tuesdays. But you want to enlighten and give your insight to others to help them grow and understand how things are done, how things are seen, and what's going on in the world around them.
And the final S stands for stop. We want everyone to actively stop discrimination as it walks in your path. It's as simple. If Aunt Jenny or Uncle Joe says something that's inappropriate at the Sunday dinner table, push back. Aunt Jenny, Uncle Joe, we don't believe that. We don't say that. And you stop it right there. So if everyone can incorporate less, LESS, we'll build a more fair, more understanding world. And guess what, my friends? We all will see the change that we want to see, because less will become more.
This was a good one. We want to make sure you come back next Tuesday live, bring your mood, your attitude, and your typing fingers, and engage with us, because we like doing this. But check out other episodes in our catalog. We have a lot of things that are out there for you, and make sure you look out for things that we still have to drop. Go to the website, sign up for the newsletter. We got the monthly newsletter. You definitely want to sign up for that on the website. Leave us a review and tell us things that you might think we should talk about, whether it be here or on other platforms. Let us know what's going on, but subscribe wherever you're listening. Where else can they find us, Tony?
My friend, you can find, or they can find, a Black Executive Perspective podcast right here on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to check out our social channels of LinkedIn, X, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram at a Black Exec, and go to our website. If you want to start spinning the wheels and having the mic and leaving your perspective and providing your thought and amplify your voice in 2026, join a Black Executive Perspective Podcast Academy. Our February class is now open where you can register. It's not going to be a lot of seats, so jump on, go to our website at a Black Exec to sign up. So for my fabulous co-host with the most, my boy down in Dallas, Chris P. Reed, I'm Tony Tidbit. We talked about it. We fought about it. We tried to understand each other's perspective about it, right? But regardless, we love you. And guess what? We're out.
A Black Executive Perspective.